Do you record client sessions as part of your work? Is some of what you do with folks providing live strategy, live work, real time, where they're going to want to go back and refer to what you do? If so, I have got one of my favorite tools that I just celebrated 1 year of using. And I have to tell you that if you want a software in your business that is not too expensive, makes you look like a rock star, and saves you a heck ton of time, you are going to love today's episode. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Establish Yourself podcast, the show that helps coaches and consultants get clear on how to talk about what you do, simplify your offers, and have more fun in your business and beyond. I'm Annie Franceschi, brand strategist, author, former Disney storyteller, and forever Muppet fan. I'm here to help you clarify your message, package your expertise, and streamline your systems to grow a business you actually enjoy. If you're ready for less confusion and more magic, it's time to establish yourself. Now, I know the past few weeks we've been talking a lot about frameworks and messaging, and it's been a big messaging year on the show, but I want to share with you amazing systems and tools because for me, a lot of this is not just being clear on how you talk about what you do and packaging your offers, but it's also growing your business and growing your business in ways that allow you to work less, work smarter, or both. And what I'm going to share with you today hits on all of those things. And it came to me out of a lot of frustration. If you are a Zoom person, you might know what I mean. I currently do the majority of my work with clients live in real time. Like, yes, I am actually developing your elevator pitch live with you. It's very exciting. But what that means is a lot of what I am delivering really relies on the materials I can provide, the value I can deliver. And for years, I have been tearing my hair out using Zoom's built in tools, because I have been coaching and consulting and advising for the better part of a decade. And when I do that, I always like to provide the recording. So, what I've been stuck doing was taking Zoom's recording, which always takes like an hour or more to process, no matter what I do, logging into Zoom after the call, downloading the transcript, putting that in another document, sending the email to the client. This is cumbersome. It takes a lot of my time or a lot of my virtual assistant's time, and I just don't like it. It's clunky, it's delayed, and it requires a lot of extra work. I did look into a tool like Zapier, which is great for connecting different softwares. And I was actually able at a certain point to get Zoom to, when it finished a call, to upload that recording to my Google Drive. So that saved me one step. But for some reason, and it took too much of my assistant's time that I had to spend with her figuring this out, that Zoom doesn't let you run Zaps for the transcripts. So I was like, oh my God, like we wasted all this time and they don't even say it anywhere. So we kept saying, why does the Zap keep failing? Anyway, I have completely replaced almost all of Zoom except for Zoom running the call. And I know many of you might say Google Meet, etc. I'm not ready to break up with Zoom in terms of the calls. It is the most reliable of all the softwares I've used to actually host the live calls. But what I have started doing is I added an AI note taker. And the one I use is called Fathom AI. And I'm going to tell you why I love it so much. I just celebrated my 1 year anniversary. They celebrated with me by sending me a bill. Thank you, Fathom. But Fathom was the thing I was sort of on the fence about. One of the coaches I was working with at the time, she was using it, and I was just really impressed at how quickly she was able to get back to me after a call. And once I started using it, I was hooked. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Fathom and why I use it and why you may want to think about it, even if you are a Zoom diehard or a Zoom reluctant fan. I want to make sure that you can look amazing to your clients and not be creating extra work for yourself. One of the things that I think is really easy to forget about is when you sell the transcript, say, hey, I include the recording, that is meant in my mind to be value that you can add to your work, to your packages, to your price that doesn't add time. But if it adds 20 minutes of your time, you're not getting paid well for that time, right? So let's fix that with a tool like Fathom. Fathom is really excellent. It goes on top of Zoom, so I still run Zoom, and I can decide whether or not I want to use the Fathom note taker in my call. But I do admit them to the calls that I am recording for my clients. And one of the very best parts of it is the second that I hang up from a recorded call, I get an amazing email. An email directly from Fathom, and it has all of the takeaways from our call, and they're literally hyperlinks. So you can click on the link and go straight to the moment in the call we were discussing any one thing. And this is so helpful because a lot of our calls, when I work with clients in the variety of settings that I do, a lot of it is like messaging, like, hey, say something like this or say something like that. Or it's specific to dos, or it's a blend of those things. So Fathom is able to sort of carry that nuance through and do it really succinctly and well. And when you go out to their page, they kind of provide this like recap page for the meeting. That becomes even more useful because they've got the takeaways like you see in the email, but they've got a summary of the call. They have got the transcript of the call. And then, probably my favorite, most underused part of this tool is Ask Fathom. So I use this often where I will go in and you can click on that tab, you or your client, and you can ask Fathom about the meeting. It actually made me look like a total rock star today because it is my client Karen's birthday. Happy birthday, Karen. I know you listen to this sometimes, but I remember Karen just 2 months ago was mentioning that she has a favorite drink. And I was like, oh, maybe I could figure out her local coffee shop and what her favorite drink is, and I can send her a gift card. And sure enough, I was able to ask Fathom about that. Not only was I able to ask it about the meeting, I could actually go to my main Fathom account and ask it, say, hey, has Karen, my client, ever mentioned what her favorite coffee drink is or where her coffee shop was? And it actually pulled for me enough information that I was able to pinpoint based on her home address which coffee shop I should send the gift card from for her treasured skim latte that she has at 3 o'clock. I got the detail that it was open at 3 and it was down to 2 different coffee shops, and one of them is not open past 2 o'clock. So there you go. I mean, don't you wanna be like a detective? You could be a detective. But anyway, I am just blown away with this tool, and I really like it because, especially when I'm with my client, I get to be present with them. I get to open my mind to being creative, to coming up with the best messaging, the best strategies, the best simplified systems for running a coaching or consulting practice without getting bogged down and taking a million notes. We still write some things down, we still talk some things through, but both of us, on either end of the call are really free to be present because we're not just going to have some random bulky recording. We're going to have a transcript and we're going to have the ability to summarize and ask the meeting questions. So I can look through all of my calls with Karen, for example, and say, what are the things we've been working on? Where are we still stuck? Remind me what we did in the last session. For example, in the past year, they've added the ability to ask across calls. So I can say across all my client calls, what are the common results I've been getting for clients? That is great information for marketing, right? So I can't say enough good things about it, but I came to this because Zoom was so clunky and they were charging so much for even the ability to like have the transcript be uploaded and not have to me manually go and get it. And their takeaways are not as accurate as Fathoms or anything like that. So I have kept Zoom purely for hosting video calls and having those sorts of conversations. But I put Fathom right on top of it. And I am so, so very grateful because now, I get that recap in my inbox, 30 seconds. And what I've started doing is I will actually hit the forward button on my business Gmail. There is a feature I did only discovered this a couple of weeks ago, and I feel silly for it. But there is a place where when you hit the forward button, you can actually change the subject line. So I've started going in and editing the subject line and making it, the recap from our call. So now within like, I don't know, 5 minutes or less of us hanging up from one of our big strategy sessions together, I can send a client that says, hey, I was so grateful to get to sit with you today. I'm so proud of where we're going with this. Here is a fantastic recap. There's more in the workbook. I do provide a secondary workbook that has some of our clear notes that we were making in the meeting. And this is all extra. It's stuff they're not necessarily even expecting. But, isn't that great? Like, especially if you hired a consultant, think about, the flip of that. You are investing in someone's brain and then being able to access that brain, indefinitely after, until I guess we get hit by a meteor or I retire to Walt Disney World. I hope the latter happens before the former, but we never know these days. So, having that ability, that is a great way to provide stellar customer service at a real value. You know, it is not that expensive to get Fathom. I was sort of shocked when I saw currently the individual level, which is similar to what I have, is $16 a month if you pay yearly. Oh my god, it's so worth that. Oh my gosh, and it has Zapier integration. It has integration now with ChatGPT and Claude, so if you wanna connect it to those other AI tools, but I just can't say enough good things about it, and I got it to solve sort of spending all this extra time on my client experience, and now it's not been a neutral, it's been a huge value add. And the shock for me has not been just the value add for clients and in what they're paying to work with me as a premium experience, but for me, I have really been able to better harness and understand the value I bring in these calls and to really understand and show up to them more prepared. We're all running a million miles a minute, but having the ability that before I get on a call with a client, I can go look up and say, okay, what did we talk about last? Where were we, etc. It is just such a powerful tool. And maybe you have your favorite kind of note taker. I tried a couple, but this one was the best blend of all worlds. And I do have an affiliate link for you. So I can actually give you a free month of Fathom if you want to try it. So I've got a referral link. I will put it here in the show notes if you are curious. I think I started with a referral link as well because I was like, I don't know, how's this going to go? But my advice to you is just try it. So if you have not been happy with Zoom or you've been wanting to kind of have that wow, you spend all this money with a consultant, like when they follow up within 5 minutes, you notice that. Right. And you're so excited about the things you were talking about and the strategies and the next steps. And when that lands in your inbox so quickly without a lot of effort, on either way, it's like that's a wow. And that's to me, that's worth $16 a month, especially if you get a free month to start it. So check out Fathom. I'll put my referral link here in the notes for you to check it out, and you can get a free month of their premium level for their AI note taker. So be sure to check that out. Let me know how it goes. And I wish you an amazing client session that you are going to crush the follow up on. Hey, do you like surprises? The credits are about to roll, but just like a Marvel movie, stick around to the end for something I put in just for you. Thanks for listening to the Establish Yourself podcast. I'm Annie Franceschi, and if you're enjoying the show, it would mean so much to me if you follow it, leave a quick rating, or share it with a friend. And for free branding resources and more ways to work together, head to greateststorycreative.com/podcast. Now here it is, your moment of magic. So I have something special to share with you. Just a few months ago, I had kind of this wild series of events happen to me that got me thinking about a very big idea. And as I've been developing it, I have kind of said, hey, you know what? Before you go any further, you should verify that this isn't just me. This isn't just how Annie thinks about the world. You should make sure this is a real thing that people think about and better understand how people live their lives and how they think specifically about appreciation and showing gratitude and showing up. And so I have put together what I call the Appreciation Project Survey. And I would love your input on this. I will put a link in the show notes to check it out, but it will be at greateststorycreative.com/survey. It's not about branding or business. It might even surprise you what I ask about, but it'll take you no more than 5 minutes. I would love to ask you to take this quick survey between now and our next episode. So, episodes come out Tuesday morning. So, anytime in the next few days, I would love your perspective. And I so appreciate you sharing it with me. I have been sharing this with my family and friends, and watching what people have to say about this has been fascinating. And I am really excited to keep building on it. And there is a box when you do the survey that you can check if you want updates on this. So I may talk about this on the podcast in the future, but before I do that and as I'm gathering my own research to better understand this, I would love your perspective. So if you've got a few minutes this week, head on over to greateststorycreative.com/survey.